Troopers and grinders, it is time once again for us to venture into the disgusting, flea-ridden sponge cells of the insane asylum, otherwise known as Hank's Breakdown. That's right. It's time for Hank's Breakdown. Actually, Maestro, get us some music. Where are my manners? Hold on, we need some music on this picture. Is this working? There we go. Too loud? Hey, Sean Moody, good to see you.
Yo, what is up, Hank, dude? How you doing, Hanker?
Yee! Beavis and Butthead! You little bastards! When I get my hands on you, I need my pills! I need to be locked away! God damn it, you're expelled! It's working. Yee! Woo! You need what in this cup? Anyway, it's time to venture into the insane asylum once again. It's time to scratch at the walls and claw our eyes out and throw the meatloaf that the lunch lady served us into somebody else's face. It's time to throw monkey shit. It is time for Hank's Breakdown of all the fights for UFC Fight Night. Lewis versus Teixeira, Jiri Prokaska, Glover Teixeira. That's right, as Uncle Joe would put it. He's so good at pronouncing it. But, yeah, this is going to be a very interesting card because on one hand, there are a bunch of fights I don't care about early on. And then on the other hand, later on, he has my favorite fighter of all time fighting. So I'm feeling a mix of emotions. I'm conflicted. I do predict 7 out of 12 of these fights will result in a finish, in my opinion. So we should see a lot of action on this card. It isn't the most stacked card in the world. I mean, it does have Nate the Train on it, so it inherently makes it a GOAT card. But there are some fights on here I'm not the most interested in. But I think that the nonstop violence in the finishes will make up for that fact, and I think it'll result in a pretty memorable evening. Without further ado, let me break this card down, guys. The banner says PFL Mania. Oh, god damn it. There we go. No, 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 no. Thank you for catching that, Sean Moody. I appreciate it. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into the fights, damn it. Starting with our opening. I saved the card. Yes. You saved the card through changing the banner that scrolls around on the bottom. I don't even have my PayPal or my Cash App. It doesn't matter, Sean Moody, all right? But you changed a little detail. You helped out the people who are going to watch the VOD. All right, thank you, all right? Yeah, you served your duty. All right, Moody. You happy now? Anyway, we have Fatima Klein taking on Melissa Martinez, brother. Yee! But Fatima Klein, I think she has very good wrestling. Who did she fight? She fought Jazzy J on short notice, if I'm not mistaken. Had a close fight with her, did not get finished. And then immediately after that, she beat the crap out of Judakova and made her shit blood. Bloody butt is what we call her. And then meanwhile, this girl, Melissa Martinez, went against Alice Ardeline. Oh, yay, how impressive is that? But Alice Ardeline has, to be fair, gotten a win since then. I did have faith in her. I thought Melissa Martinez on short notice. But I feel like this is a completely different animal. And Fatima Klein, I think, is going to take down Melissa Martinez. She's going to beat her up on the ground, completely outmaneuver her, outstrength her, everything in between. Super Melly, more like Super Smelly. Shout out to my boy, Two Smelly Fingers. We need you back. We need you back, Smelly. Come back, please, on the 5th day. Play Batman Arkham Asylum. Maybe one day. Oh my god, that is a fantastic profile picture, by the way. That's Connor, yeah. We need to take out these Irish millionaires. Conor McGregor is gonna be announcing his campaign to run for president of Ireland, and this is something that we do not need. It is wasteful to have a UFC fighter taking over the country of Ireland because he's going to bend the knee to Trump, and he's going to spread millionaire and elitist influence in the country of Ireland. We do not need that. What we need is a revolution, and we need to break Conor McGregor's neck. Place that on the ponies. Thank you. Yeah, I will. Hi, Hank. Hello, Kobe Wiggle. Good to see you. Fatima Klein. My point is, I think that Fatima Klein is going to out-wrestle Melissa Martinez fairly easily. Martinez beat a striker in her last fight, and then before that, Elise Reed absolutely kicked her ass. And Fatima Klein, I think, is better than Elise Reed. So give me her to completely out-grapple Melissa Martinez, boring 30-27 decision. What are your thoughts on the Superman movie? I haven't seen it yet. Isn't it coming out in a couple days, Kobe? Also, guys, let me know if the volume's too loud or my audio's getting messed up. But yeah, I think with James Gunn at the helm, usually it turns out pretty good. But the reviews have sounded sort of mixed, so I honestly don't know what to think about it yet. Hank, did you see me mogging Morning Combat earlier? Morning Combat chat earlier? I did not see that. I have not seen that yet. Was it entertaining? What were some catchphrases and some trademark insults that you used? Lord of the Pie. Serious question. But yeah, Team Klein. I got her winning this thing by, drumroll please, unanimous decision over Melissa Martinez. Just absolutely stomps her out, man. Yo, Big Hank, real killer. He's a killer, dude. He's a coke dealer too. Oh, I needed that. It's actually not very entertaining at all. 5 people were terribly upset with me because I pointed out some policy in Luke's political view. Well, they were policies worth calling out, so I'm glad that you did that. You gotta call people out when they're being hypocritical. I don't care what sort of platform it is, whether it's MMA or politics, you know? Yeah, I mean, I'm not scared to discuss politics with anybody. I'll tell everybody that, and everybody knows that. So, respect on you, Lord of the Pies. I'm glad you stood up for yourself. You pulled it out of the fire! You don't let him bully you, son! I just thought it was interesting how worked up they got over nothing. I mean, that's politics in general, right? Pretty much sums it up in a shell nut. At one point, Luke described that as allowing a cage fight on the White House lawn, which is probably just liberalism, if anything. I don't know what this deal. Well, it's all about the spectacle. It's a distraction. It's a visual distraction from the terrible job he's doing with this economy and with our political system. It's like Constantine with the Roman Colosseum. It's meant to take our eyes away from all his failures and towards something fun. How is the USA doing? Terribly. And our democracies just keep getting rolled back one by one. Or freedoms, I should say. But you know what? We've got a good political figure now. You got a good figure now in the world of national not national, but it could be national if it chooses to. But we got a few individuals who are giving us some hope. So I'm not completely nihilistic about it. Do you agree with Yan over DJ according to Lucas Tracy? No, not at all. Guy was champion for 5 seconds. DJ has 11 fucking titles. So, how you could ever even manage to have that opinion is beyond me. He doesn't walk on eggshells, but his brain's different. YouTube recommended Luke's political channel to me, so I checked it out. It made me want to headbutt some broken glass. It's horrible. You wish death on the MMA guru. The guy's not mentally well, in my opinion. Probably silly to have a cage fight on the White House lawn. I get that, but fascism, it's like, come on. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to talk about it, talk about how he sent a bunch of immigrants just trying to get their visas into the country to freaking the death camp in El Salvador. Let's talk about freaking alligator Alcatraz. I don't feel like that's the example you should give the actual examples of innocent people to death camp.
Yo, Sonic.
Thoughts on Yo Gabba Gabba? My childhood. Yo Gabba Gabba. Yo Gabba Gabba. Try it. You'll like it. Try it. You'll like it. Yes. I'll be working until I'm 75. But other than that, things are great. I mean, it's like the Verve Bittersweet Symphony. It's like a bittersweet symphony that's life. You work for the money all your life, then you die. However that shit goes. Anyway, we got Mike Davis taking on Mitch Ramirez. Mitch has had a bad run with the UFC. Just worst of luck. Gets put in on short notice against Thiago Moises, leg kicks him to death. Before that, got given Carlos Prates for Contender Series. Just that is a terrible string of luck. Wins in LFA and then gets destroyed by Moises afterwards easily. Meanwhile, Mike Davis shows up once every blue moon, usually, but now he's active. Now he's coming off a loss 5 months ago by decision against Breziam, which is understandable. He's a tall, weight bully motherfucker. And now he's taking on Mitch Ramirez, who just gets killed by anybody with talent. So, honestly, a really good draw for Mike Davis. I wish they'd give him an actual contender so he could build himself back up, but it doesn't matter. He'll absolutely smoke Mitch Ramirez. Some people think this is going to go to a decision or he's going to sub him up on the ground. I honestly think he's going to knock him out round one. Pretty simple. Mitch Ramirez, he feels like a can that they give it to the good guys to crush. And I feel like Mike Davis is just going to take Mitch Ramirez just like that, like he's a jock at a frat party, So give me Mike Davis by a round one knockout. I know it's a rare thing. It's a 4-leaf clover in a clover field, a needle in a haystack to find a Mike Davis knockout, but I think he is going to find it here. Thoughts on mass immigration to the USA? What context are you talking about? What years? What who immigrated to the U.S. and why? Like, it seems like a very broad topic. I would say that immigrants, without them, our economy's fucking dead. You get rid of enough immigrants, the economy starts to decline. So, I don't know. I think obviously you can't overdo it. You can't, the corporations use them to take laborers' jobs. Yeah, you've got to blame anyone, blame the corporations. I'd say immigration usually keeps this economy moving. So the more you limit it and the more you deport people, the worse the economy does. Anyway, let's move on to our next fight. Yeah, Mike Davis. I'm a fan of Mike Davis. I'm glad he's fighting more. I don't know why he hadn't previously, but maybe he's got that loser's taste in his mouth. Then we got Kennedy Nzechukwu. Not the Nigerian Nightmare. It's fucking Kamaru Usman. What the hell does he call himself? What does he call himself? Let me check. Oh, the African Savage. All right, the African Savage, Kennedy Nzechukwu taking on Walter the Clean Monster Walker. And if you've seen any of Walter Walker's performances or his past failed drug tests, you know that that statement is not true about him being a clean monster. Kennedy Nzechukwu doing very well at heavyweight now that he's moved up, just knocking out a bunch of fat fucks. And Walter Walker is one of those as well. I mean, he's not in that bad of shape, but he is a giant. How to put it? Just seems big and porky, So doesn't seem that much different from the other guys. He is very good at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's gotten 2 what are those, knee bars? Is it a knee bar? It's a leg lock for sure. A heel hook. That's a heel hook. 2 heel hooks in a row. But I doubt he gets them here against Kennedy Nzechukwu. In my opinion, it's just hard for these heavyweights to deal with the light heavyweight. I think that includes both stuff on the feet and stuff on the ground. I think Kennedy's going to get out of his hooks and his submission attempts easier than these other blubber balls will. And once they keep it on the feet for long enough, I think that Kennedy Nzechukwu is just going to hurt Walker to the body, head, couple cuts, all that jazz. And Walter Walker, instead of spitting phlegm on the microphone, he's going to be off spitting up blood when Kendi Nizuchukwu beats the absolute crap out of him and just puts him out TKO against the cage. His submission threat will not work here, and once that's neutralized, he's pretty much done for. So give me the African Savage to score a round 1 knockout on Walter Walker. I would say that Walter from the WWE has a better chance. Easy enough. Mike Davis's last opponent, who beat him, is taking a huge step down in competition in his next fight. I digress, though. Who is Freziem taking on? Give me 1 second. Howie Fernandez. Yeah. Although he did beat the crap out of Garam, he did dominate him for a decision win. That's pretty impressive. Lose to Mark Diakite, though. That's a terrible loss. Yeah, I think he's probably a step down. Favorite war? I mean, I am a sadist general with no human emotions or heart to me. So I probably would have a favorite war if I was that sick in the head. So I would probably say, no, I mean, I'd have to think of war as like an entertaining. Let me think about. Good question. I would say the First Crusade, because reading about it is one of the funniest things I have ever done. Just they're all a gaggle of idiots who had no idea where they were going. A bunch of them just died on the way to where they were going to have their war, and then they just found a bunch of innocents and were like, "All right, we'll kill all those people, and we win! Yay!" I'd say that's my reward. So idiotic. But Vietnam was too versatile. Yeah, it was too versatile. It was too graphic, too visceral for my life. Very in poor taste, low culture. I'd have to go back to the good old days and put on my rose-tinted glasses and say First Crusade was some nostalgia. Also, any war that Alexander the Great fought, and I'm not talking about Volkanovski. I'm talking about the other Greek dude. There you go. Anyway, let's move on to our next big fight. We got Lauren Murphy against Eduarda Moura. Lauren Murphy, just look at that face. She has been in some wars, and most of them have not gone her way. World War II is overrated. Yeah, I refrained from mentioning that one because that's always the obvious answer. But Lauren Murphy has got a title shot at one point for no reason against Valentina Shevchenko. Lost brutally. I just surprised that she's still in the UFC. To be honest, I don't know how she's kept her positions. 16-6. Lost to Jessica Andrade. Maybe it's just the fact that she hasn't had that many fights before or after. Like she's worse than Mike Davis, dude. Meanwhile, Eduarda Moura, she calls herself Ronda, but do not be fooled by this ridiculous and unearned statement or label. She has not gotten a submission since now a year and 10 months ago. And then she beat the Monster Rat. Who cares? Lost to Denise Gomes. Came back against Veronica Hardy, which is pretty impressive. But Lauren Murphy's just getting up there. She's 41 years old. I feel like her muscles are just going to be too weak when Moura starts shooting takedowns. And I think she's going to sort of mentally give up when she's on the mat. Look at this age difference, dude. It's absolutely ridiculous. Mora's going to be on drugs. She's going to be a weight bully. Lauren Murphy's going to look like an old crafty vet. It's old man Stippy. And I think Eduarda Moura is going to beat her up on the ground. get a pretty unanimous decision. Boom, simple as that. He's taking on a number 58 ranked guy. Mike Davis was ranked number 35. Yeah, I don't know what these matchmakers are smoking sometimes. Dropped down 23 ranks in competition. I think he should be fighting top 20, top 15. Yeah, I think he should be fighting a ranked guy. Diam's decent. He knocked out, what was his name? Shoot. Matt Frivola. Knocked out Matt Frivola. So he's at that level, if not above. Cease and desist your show. I mean, you've cease and desisted from hanging out in my comment section once. Ever since the split, you haven't been in this stream once, so you can cease and desist hanging out here. Yeah, and I get it. You're Idaho's boy, and he's complained about this, but yeah, dude, I really don't care. Like, hang out in his channel, have fun instead. Don't go up to bat for somebody. In fact, we're probably gonna talk about this later on today. So I just relax. Again, you weren't here once. Didn't share time between my channel or his. You just hung out with him. So I know whose allegiance you got. Lauren Skeletor Murphy. Yeah.
He-Man, you have the power of Grayskull, and I actually have a gray skull. It should belong to me. It's called Grayskull, He-Man. Rescue.
Nasty KO on Frivola with the knee. Yeah, and he hasn't been booked well since. What's good, bro? Hey, Trey, it's good to see you. Not sure if you covered yet. That Ben Askren situation is wild. I hope he has a quick recovery. Well, he's back. I mean, he survived the double lung transplant, so it's all uphill from here, you'd think. I mean, unless some disease catches him by surprise while he's recovering. But I doubt that happened. Sort of weird that his healthcare didn't cover it. His Medicare was refused to pay for his operation, so maybe it's a little shoddy. That's the one thing you can sort of worry about with that, but I do think he's going to manage well. I don't think he's going to look as skinny as we saw him in that video. I think he's going to be healthy. He's going to work out. He's going to eat well. I think he's going to be back to the old Ben Askren. Maybe he'll sound different. Maybe his voice will be different from what we're used to, just because it's got a new set of lungs. But I think Ben's going to be back in shape before we know it, and I'm so happy about it too. I was worried for him for a while. Vietnam War is goated. You have the unique jungle environment, the first utilization of film broadcast in war, and the arsenal is so ahead of its time. Yeah, but a lot of young men died from the draft. And, Vietnamese were killed by Agent Orange. It was a waste of the war, to be honest, and it's one that we lost too. So I expect Towson to win by knockout. Pretty late in the second round. I don't think it's going to be late, man. I think it's going to be first round. I think it's going to be fairly quick. I think it's going to go like the Papa fight will, honestly. And I'll get to it very soon, Karen. Based first name, by the way. How do you feel about Terrence McKinney getting that round one sub? I called that fight perfectly. I was wondering how George Masvidal feels after everything now. I don't know if he feels anything. His brain might be freaking oatmeal at this point. Let me hold on. In the meantime, I have to set up some of the screen I will be using for the rest of the breakdowns. Give me 1 second, guys. Go. Are they really super necessary? Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. I don't know. He's dumb enough that I think he really wouldn't consider complex questions like that or moral quandaries. I think he's past those. So I don't know. If he's willing to just beat up, throw punches at Colby Covington after they've already had their fight, then I bet he doesn't feel that much towards Ben Askren. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I don't think he's smart enough to really grapple with those questions. It being a waste of war is the best part. It's so goofy. Yeah. Next. It literally served zero purpose and made our country look like complete and utter dog shit. Sort of reminds me of what's going on this year. I didn't like Idaho being in the past channel. Your channel's better, in my opinion. Thank you, Kobe. I appreciate it. I try my best. Carlson has to break down that veteran pride that Derek has, which is why I give him a round. Yeah, but the thing is, dude, remember when Sergey Pavlovich just knocked out Lewis in like 2 or 3 minutes? I really do feel like Carlson Teixeira is that kind of dude where, like, it's going to be like DDP. Like, he gets hurt. Oh, my God, he's hurt. Then, bam, he knocks the guy out. Like, that's what happened in the Contender Series fight. I feel like Lewis is going to bum rush him. He's going to fail, get caught a few times, back up, and then knees to the body against the fence, you know? He's just too tall, dude. He's got too good a reach. I feel like he's going to be able to use those advantages pretty early in the fight. I totally understand George in the moment landing those extra shots, but after what happened, I personally feel horrible about it. Like, what did that really achieve? I mean, you shouldn't feel too guilty about it because it was a staph infection that made Ben Askren develop all those symptoms. Like, that's sort of excluded from what his past with Ben was. But, you know, it should make him think about how we shouldn't hold grudges and, you know, just keep moving forward, not let people get into our heads. But at the same time, dude, that fight made Jorge a star. So some things are just meant to be. And plus, Ben Askren talked a big game. If you talk a big game, you got to back it up. And you don't talk that big with a guy like Jorge Masvidal. Anyway. Go. Speaking of opera, and next. How are you? I'm doing all right, Kobe. I'm always dealing with multiple things at once, so it's hard to get a complete have a complete opinion on how I'm doing in general. But overall I'd say pretty all right. Just gotta keep moving, keep on pushing, as they would put it, you know. All right. More. I don't think Jorge gives a shit. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, dude. I think Jorge's so in his own head and such an egotist that he doesn't care what happens to Ben Askren. He probably still thinks he's a punk, he's a piece of crap, and he's going to beat the hell out of him, just like he did the first time. He punches everybody. He punched freaking Leon Edwards right after he did an interview. The guy's not well upstairs. I think Jake Paul has more freaking respect for him than Jorge does. At least he paid for his expenses. I don't think Jorge would do it in a million years. We didn't hear anything about it. You know? Does anybody have evidence of Jorge giving any money to Ben's recovery fund? If I don't see it, then that gives us our answer, basically. When you think Jake Paul fights again, that he wins again? Yeah, he definitely wins again because unfortunately he's the main attraction, so they're going to pamper him and and powder the baby's bottom as long as they can until they give him a real threat, or until he gets Canelo. So, yeah, something tells me they're not gonna put their cash cow at risk. But good on Jake Paul for paying for those medical expenses. At least he has some heart. Better than his brother, I can tell you that much. I like that Jake spreads the money around. Yeah, he's not a complete jackass, again, like his brother is, because at least he's not engaging in crypto scams. He's not trying to trick kids out of their freaking salaries by having them invest in a stock trust fund that goes belly up within a matter of days, and Logan Paul runs away with all the money. At least Jake has some standards. Anyway. Then we got Jake Matthews against Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, we love you and our Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, love is true. Bang Bang Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, our fine four-fendered friend. Bang Bang Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, our fine four-fendered friend. Taking on Jake Matthews, the Celtic 30-something, if I wrote it. Chidi Njokuani, I think, is looking a lot better at welterweight. I know he had a really awful welterweight debut fight. Who was it against? I think it was, Reese McKee. He had one of the worst fights I've ever seen against Reese McKee. Barely won, but has looked good since. Beat Jared Gooden, stuffed all his takedowns. Elusu Zaleski knocked him out with a shocking outcome. Meanwhile, Jake Matthews beat Phil Rowe, which isn't a bad win, but then made it really close with Francisco Prado, which sort of says a lot about where Jake Matthews, how quality Jake Matthews is at controlling the pace and winning the fight dominantly. He just can't do it. He has close fights with everybody. The last guy he beat, Darius Flowers, he got him in a rear naked choke, but that was on short notice. Anybody else he's having super close fights with. It's impressive he didn't get knocked out by Michael Morales, but at the same time, I feel like Chidi Njokuani is that same kind of fighter who's just super tall, with knees up the middle, elbows, just tall man, slender man. I feel like that model of fighter is not good for Jake Matthews. He needs someone who's sort of his own height, who he can take down and sort of bully a little bit and use wrestling against. But I feel like Chidi's one of those guys who's just going to hit him with a bunch of stuff from range and make Matthews come to him, and then that's just going to be Chidi's fight for 3 rounds. I don't think he's going to knock out Jake Matthews, because Jake Matthews is born tough, and he's got that derpy-ass face, so he sounds like he's from the west side in Australia. Man, where's he from? He's from Australia. Aussie, blue, baby. He's that fucking looking nasty. You can't put him down. But I think he will find the decision here against Jake Matthews, win pretty convincingly. Favorite scene in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? Song. Has to be the song with Dick Van Dyke and the family singing Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, we love you, and you are everything you are. Bang Bang, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, our fine four-fendered friend. I might sing the whole song for the very end of this. Thank you for giving me the idea, Kobe Wiggle. Let's talk about those Muslim crusades. Kidding, we never did that. Yeah, you wish. I wish, dude. Fucking these white fucking Christian idiots thinking they manifest their destinies, dude. Somebody needs to teach them a lesson or two. I will say the Muslim crusade, there was an Islamic empire, and they were way more successful with it. So you did have your Muslim crusades. It just came later, and it was more imperial than it was a crusade. But the Islamic empire kicked major ass. Next. Here we go. Right. Yeah. Only referenced the Crusades because they were so idiotic and had. I mean, it wasn't the worst outcome because they won, but it did nothing for them. It really didn't do anything for them, and they held the land for like a couple seconds and then had to do another one. So they're good. They're good to make fun of those wars, but not much to actually consider in terms of their prominence. Anyway, let's move on to our next fight. We got the Crier, Chris Curtis, probably doing a Twitter rant right now because I mentioned him, taking on Max Griffin. This is a big step down for Chris Curtis. I think he's trying to get an easy opponent to enter into the rankings at welterweight, because at middleweight he got knocked out. I mean, if you can even call it knocked out by Roman Kopylov, and I guess he feels like he wants to pull Kevin Holland and get a fresh start in the welterweight division. Max Griffin is mid. He's lost his last fight, won his last fight before that, lost his last fight, won his last fight before that, lost his last fight. And you'd think that he'd win his next fight, because of that. You keep up the pattern. But not this time, man. Not this time. Michael Chiesa can dominate him than freaking Chris Curtis can. Jeremiah Wells sucks. Only won a split to Jeremiah Wells. Didn't even look good in that fight. He could be losing, 4 of his last 5 fights. Went to a split with Tim Means. He wins nothing decisively. And to be honest, neither does Chris Curtis. But I think Chris Curtis's boxing is better than Max Griffin. I think he's got way better pressure game. He almost beat Brendan Allen. He should have honestly won against Brendan Allen, which shows that his skill level is still high. Almost beat Kopylov if he didn't get kicked in the head. So I think Chris Curtis is actually pretty underrated. It's fucking embarrassing that he lost to Kelvin Gastelum, but, it's hard for these guys to beat Kelvin sometimes. Daniel Rodriguez lost to him. So, yeah, it happened. But, Roman Kopylov is talent, Brendan Allen's talent, and he almost beat him. So Max Griffin isn't talent. I think that Chris Curtis is just going to put the boxing on him, big body blows, combination. Vintage stuff from Chris Curtis. Idaho. Yeah. Imagine donating to a dying Jewish millionaire. People should be ashamed. Wait. What are we talking about here? You need to be more specific with this. Donating to a dying Jewish millionaire. Well, I mean, the thing is, Vinny, Ben Askren has given a lot of laughs and entertainment over the years. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have a star in Jorge Masvidal. There's a reason that Dana White signed him. I get that, you're given to a guy who's, rich already, but I guess what we were also more alive than Ben Askren than when he was on death's door. So it really was an act of sympathy for him, Vinny. And he gave us a lot of entertainment, dude. He put his body on the line. Against Jake Paul, he got knocked out flat, and that's how he ended his career. So Ben Askren, he's annoying and talks a lot of trash, but he also gave us a lot of memorable moments, and was good at what he did outside the UFC. So I think it's just a sign of respect. Writing Askren's name on a missile, dude. Fuck that guy. Oh, mean, Vinny, mean. I don't know, dude. I think I'm gonna sign the contract, Hank. Yeah, for chill. Yeah, I mean it's the same old terminology. I mean, welcome to my channel. I'm glad this has gotten me publicity. So I guess the smear campaign has failed spectacularly. But yeah, dude, he's gonna get what's coming. Not Idaho, but trust me, he's in the fight of his life right now, and it's not against me, Dirty Hippo. But yeah, I think Chris Curtis is going to win a decision here against Max Griffin, because Max Griffin has nothing that impresses me. Whereas Chris Curtis at least has a little bit of boxing. I think that's going to put him over the finish line. Give me Curtis by decision. You won't have to cry on Twitter anymore, Curtis. You actually got to win. KO him with a 720 head kick. I could do that. You remember that? What was his name? That MMA guy who like spun a million times and then bam, hit like an elbow on his opponent against the fence. I forget who that was. He's super underrated. Like really quick guy. I'm gonna look that up because I need to remember that guy's name. He's involved in a lot of good stuff. I forget what it was. But some guy like did an elbow. He spun a million times in the air and then he hit an elbow. Does anybody know what that is? Now I'm obsessed. Hold on. I'll be right back, by the way. All right, we're back. What was his name? I'm gonna look this up. Raymond Daniels. Yeah, Raymond Daniels. Look at Raymond Daniels delivers spectacular knockout at Bellator Birmingham. Yeah, Raymond Daniels. That was a huge move. Anyway, yeah, I think Curtis wins the decision fairly easily here. Next, we have Junior Tafa. It's not Max Griffin. God damn it. My mistake. It's Tuco Tacos. Tuco Tacos. Wait a minute. How did I forget this? Oh, Jesus Christ. I'll get through this one quickly. I think Tuco Tacos is so unmemorable. I didn't even put up his stats or anything about him. There's nothing memorable about him. Junior Tafa, I think he's going to look good in not even heavyweight. Jesus Christ. Junior Tafa's fighting down at light heavyweight. Might have been on drugs when I made this. But he's cutting down in weight. He's looking less flabby. He's actually in proper shape. Tuco Tacos is not Tuco Salamanca. He's actually more like his like lackey. What was that guy's name? Tuco Salamanca. Right. Oh, it wasn't freaking Nacho. Who was it? Fresh like Gonzo. Yeah, he looks more like Gonzo than he does Tuco Salamanca. And refused to get knocked out by Navajo Sterling. That was painful to watch. But shows that he's sort of tough. And then he got absolutely destroyed by UMRC. Subbed pretty easily. Junior Tafa, I think moving down, he's going to look quicker. He's going to look more fresh. I think he's going to put his combinations together easier because he doesn't have a bunch of fucking slab in front of him to slow him down like he did against that guy on short notice. He just had a horrible, if you can even call it a fight with him. Sean Sharaf, a absolutely just disorganized, fumbled mess. I think Toph is going to look smooth. He's going to look quick and coordinated there. And Chico Tacos, I think he's going to get knocked out in round 1. I think the Tafas have a lot of power. So give me Junior Tafa to score the round 1 KO on Max Griffin. Not Max Griffin. Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. Anyway, move on from this one before I embarrass myself further. Let's go to an actual heavyweight fight between Vitor Petrino and Austin Lane. Petrino, he somehow lost to Anthony Smith and then somehow lost to Dustin Jacoby. Again, does well until he doesn't. And his opponent just finds a way to outsmart him and pull off a fluke finish. Austin Lane, meanwhile, whenever he gets knocked out, it's no fluke. The guy just, does well. He does a little bit of wrestling and then immediately gets knocked out afterwards. Whether that is against Yonata Knees or who's that other guy who put him out flat? Mario Pinto. Yeah, made it look super easy. 39 seconds into round 2. I feel like it's not going to take Vitor Petrino that long. I think he's going to knock out Austin Lane in round 1 because he actually has some wrestling in his back pocket as well. I think he's going to stuff the takedowns of Austin Lane pretty easily, and that's pretty much all Austin Lane's got. Plus that chin is probably gone after knockout after knockout after knockout. Chin's probably not doing so hot. So I think Vitor Petrino is just going to find it relatively quickly because he's not going to get taken down in this fight. I really don't think so. And that's all Austin Lane's got. He's got no other lane to swerve into. So Petrino's going to knock him out. Round 1, big overhand right hook that just lays Austin Lane out stiff. No takedowns for Austin Lane and no success this time. Pretty simple. And then, oh boy, might hit a few nerves. We've got Nate the Train Landwehr, my favorite fighter of all time, taking on Morgan Charrier. I'm going to go with Nate the Train. I'm picking Nate Landwehr against Morgan Charrier. I think this is actually one of the closer fights on the card. Morgan Charrier got out-grappled and knocked down and embarrassed by Nathaniel Wood. Nathaniel Wood, of all people, knocked him down and made him look easy. And all he needed was a little bit of grappling. He just kept the Frenchie down and didn't allow him to find any success on the feet. And with Nate the Train, I think he is going to get hurt early by Morgan Charrier. He always does. But I think he's also going to come right back. He's going to get the body lock. He's going to take Morgan Charrier down, find himself on top. Just pressure from Nate the Train. He's not going to give Morgan Charrier a moment to breathe, put his combinations together when he needs to. Morgan's going to try to find, some body kicks and stuff that's going to hurt Nate. Nate's just going to walk right through it. Train's, going right through the barrier, right through the construction signs. And I think he's going to use his wrestling here more than he did the Duho Choi fight. I think it's going to be easier to get Charrier down than it will be the Korean Superboy. I just think that was a bad fight for Nate, but I don't think that means that Nate's washed. I just think that Duho Choi's that good. So give me Nate Landwehr to be more accurate in his strikes than he was the last fight. We use his wrestling to just neutralize Charrier's stand-up game and just dominate him, I think. Not dominate. I think it's going to be a close fight. It's always close. He always gets hurt somehow. And I think he's not going to find a submission, but he will have a very entertaining back and forth fight that goes to the judges' scorecards. And I got Nate the Train winning a decision. Hank the Tank and the UFC. Hey, my mama ain't raised no bitch. baby. He only raised a Nepo, baby. And yeah, I'm a big fan of Nate the Train. Everybody who has seen previous, the dark age of this channel knows that that I have a lot of investment in Nate Landwehr. So I'm praying that he wins this. I'm praying that he gets as an atheist, and I think he's gonna pull it off, man. I really think he's just tough as nails. Morgan Sherrier is gonna hurt him, but he's not gonna finish the job. And Nate Landwehr, he finds the body lock and he can drag you down. He can take you into deep waters. And I think he's going to do that with Morgan Sherrier. Like, Nathaniel Wood can do it. Anybody can do it. So give me Nate Landwehr by decision. And then it's one of my more risky picks on the whole card, but it's one that I'm going with. There's even a chance that Nate the Train's winning, then I'm back on that horse. I just got to load my last fights. Right. Bada bing, bada boom. Damn, I didn't know that Nate Landwehr was that old. He's got a young spirit, Leandro. He's got the heart and the brain of a drunk college frat boy, and we love him for it, dude. He's also a Southern man who ain't putting up with no bullshit. Nate the Train in Clarksville, Tennessee. Make some noise, Nashville. Ain't up. I hit him with that 1-2. I kicked his ass. I got a highlight reel like Evel Knievel. I got a swagger like Elvis Presley, and I'll be damned if I ain't handsome. Hey, where my wife at? Well, I mean, that's the clue, Leandro. He called out his wife, even when he was having his fight with David Onama way back in the day. He asked where his wife was. Where my wife at? So Nate the Train's been a family man forever. He's a fucking proud Southern boy motherfucker, and I love him. Gotta love Nate the Train. Otherwise, you ain't a fan. You don't know what the sport's about. All about badass fights and crazy SOBs. Nate the Train checks all those boxes. That's why he's my favorite. He's my favorite fighter ever. I don't care how many, fights he wins. I don't care if he wins a belt. None of that matters to me. Give me the most entertainment. Dude, I was gonna say, dude. Yeah, Nate's cool, but why is he fighting XXX Tentacion? Yeah, it honestly makes no sense because he's dead, right? I think this is how XXX Tentacion, is how he bit the dust, dude. It was not self-inflicted. It was inflicted because he stood right in front of an oncoming train. Nate the Train in the UFC. I ran over XXX Tentacion, a dumb rapper degenerate. My mama ain't raised no bitch, baby. He wants to stand in front of an oncoming train. That's what happens. Hey, settle down, make some noise. I hit him with that whoop, and he was done, dude. XXX Tentacion in front of Nate the Train. I ran that bitch right over. Yee! That's basically what happened. I know you're somewhere. I'm meant to understand now. I'm meant to somewhere. I'm making a personal with you. What are you thinking will happen? All right, we got all my slides up. Let's go. Next fight. Calvin Cater. He's an hell of a fighter. I'd love to find him. Taking on Steve Garcia, the Mean Machine.
Or as I put it, as Rocky Coach, the Green Mean Knockout. Come on, Rock. Come on, Stevie. Punch that meat. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Calvin Cater from Boston, the New England Cartel, which might be the worst MMA gym on planet Earth.
48-7 rounds.
Calvin Cater, he did have a close fight with what's his name, Yusuf Zalal. He made it close in that third round, but he mostly got his ass kicked for most of the fight. Calvin Cater, he I believe is on a 4-fight losing streak. So at some point you got to cut these guys regardless of their ranked. That's an opinion I'm going to hold till my grave. If someone is getting 4 losses in a row in the UFC, I don't care who it's against, dude. You need to be winning those fights or else you're fucking gone, in my opinion. But Calvin Cater, he has lost to Josh Emmett. He has lost to Arnold Allen. He has lost to Aljamain Sterling, which is probably the worst loss of his career so far. And he lost to Yusuf Zalal. Just got outstruck. Steve Garcia, a lot of people think that Cater's just going to school Garcia. He's fresher and less experienced, just a rookie. Cater's going to just have a technical master class on him. But how long is that going to go before he gets knocked out? How long are you going to stay on the feet with Steve Garcia before he just hits you with a right hook that lays you out flat? Like, unless you knock Steve Garcia out, you're going out. And I haven't seen a knockout from Calvin Cater since, God, it's been more than 3 years. Let me see when Cater's last knockout was. When was that? Oh, it was 5 years ago. 5 fucking years ago was when he had his last knockout, guys. That power is gone. He's not. What do they call him? The Boston finisher. He hasn't finished a fight since 2020, guys. Okay. The actual finisher is Jeremy Stevens, who's the last guy he knocked out. The guy hasn't found a finish since. Meanwhile, Steve Garcia finishes all his fights, and he finishes those fights in the very first freaking round because all he has to do is hit you with the freaking death touch, and you're going out. I believe in Steve. All of us believe in Steve. Steve is love. Steve is right. Steve came into my room and he said, "Come on, boy, let's have some fun." "Oh, Steve," I said in quivering tone. "You wouldn't dare." "Of course I would, you a boy," Steve said. Steve is love. Steve is life. The Boston Decisionator. Exactly, Larry. That is a fantastic profile picture, by the way. That Joshua Van is like freaking Lil Wayne with a gun. With fucking blood. That is. He's a gangster. Joshua Van's an absolute gangster. And by the way, it's great to see you again, Larry. It's been way too long since I've seen you in the Hank Tank chat, in the Hank Tank Army, Troopers and Grinders. It's good to it's great to see you, Larry. It's been too long, man. Nice music, Hank. Thank you.
Japanese COVID. Ralphie.
That's Joshua Vaughn. Yeah. Joshua Vaughn Ruthless. Joshua Vaughn Crips and Blood. Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah. Well, I got some fights to break down. If you want me to talk about some of the fights I've already broken down, I can give you the scoop. But yeah, Calvin Cater has not found a finish in 2020. Steve Garcia only finds finishes. They're all, knocked out Malfuzio Costa in round 2, knocked out Chase Hooper round 2, which is a great win in hindsight. And I think Cater's fully washed up. I don't care what people say. I don't care that he looked good in round 3. He's going to get knocked out in the very first round by Steve Garcia. In my opinion, he's just got undeniable power, and I don't think Cater's going to be able to deny it when he gets cracked right on the chin and goes out. This is going to be a war, and I think we're going to get a one-punch knockout here. Whoever lands first, But fortunately, I'm going to go with the new guy with more speed over the old veteran. So you can only take so much damage before you eventually get knocked out, in my opinion. Give me Steve Garcia by round 1 KO over Calvin and Hobbs. It's unfortunate. And then we got Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, who isn't looking like Wonder Boy anymore. In fact, his career is starting to get as stale as Wonder Bread, to put it lightly, which is a shame, because he's being fed nothing but killers, not Wonder Bread. He's being fed killers, a bunch of guys who were, submission or knockout machines, absolute finishers. And here we have another one in Gabriel Bonfim, taller than Wonder Boy. He's going to take him down just like Shotcott did. Wonder Boy's going to look great, and then he's just going to get finished. Happens every single time. It's super sad, man, in all honesty. The last win was against Kevin Holland, Wonder Boy, and that's only because Kevin refused to just keep the fight on the ground. He allowed it to stay standing, and Wonder Boy just beat the shit out of him. Honestly, he's looking like the fucking karate hottie right now. He's losing over and over again. I will say that Stephen Wonder Boy deserves a retirement video package, way more than whatever the fuck her name is. Michelle Waterson, way more than Michelle Waterson. But he could be on a 5-fight losing streak right now if Kevin didn't keep him down on the mat. And got subbed by Shavkat, looked good, and then he didn't. Joaquin Buckley looked good until he didn't. Same thing here. He's going to outstrike Gabriel Bonfim in that first round. He'll be doing well. And then Bonfim's going to take him down, walk in the dark room, tap, tap, tap. Out goes Wonder Boy. Now, the only solace we can get from this is that Wonder Boy has 2 fights left on his contract. So maybe they're going to show Thompson a little bit of mercy and give him a guy he can actually beat. But until then, he's going to get subbed by this brand new prospect. It's going to be a round 2. And, yeah, dude, Wonder Boy just doesn't like grapplers, and they're just feeding him nothing but grapplers. So, young, hungry prospects. He's old as fuck. Yeah, he is. Again, the Wonder Boy, I think the Wonder Boy nickname got old as soon as he hit freaking 36. Like, he should have just scrapped the nickname. Wonder Boy. I don't think he's that boy. I think he's a nice guy. I think he's good. He's good to people. And he's got a nice YouTube channel too. It's just I think the matchmakers aren't so kind to him. So, yeah, give me Wonder Boy. No, don't give me Wonder Boy. Give me Gabriel Bonfim to just get him down to the mat eventually. He's not gonna like it, and then walk in a Darth or North South or whatever. Guillotine, whatever he wants to do. He's gonna finish Wonder Boy. All right. Last fight, main event of the card. It's Derek Lewis against Tall Sun, the Tall Sun Teixeira. Derek Lewis, he stays around, dude. They give him these guys below him, and he finds a way to win, dude. He finds a way. Honestly, should have lost to what's his name, Marco Rogerio de Lima, but Lewis just found the flying knee early in the round, like he was Jorge Masvidal, Curious George Masvidal, and then found the TKO afterwards. Lucky him. Perfect timing on that. He otherwise would have lost. And then Jailton Almeida took him down, beat him up. To be fair, Lewis got up to his feet quite a few times in that fight and didn't get completely outmuscled by Almeida. He stayed in the fight for all 5 rounds. You got to give him credit there. But eventually lost by decision. Couldn't handle being on the ground for too long. And then Rodrigo Nascimento is also a bum. He's also doing nothing special, getting nothing but slip decision. And Derek Lewis eventually knocked him out, took the takedown, got some time on top of his own, and then, knocked him out with that. And then, by the way, freaking like pull down his underwear and full moon the crowd, which is just fucking gross. In all honesty, sort of horrific. And Carlson Teixeira is not an old flabby Brazilian dude like Nascimento is. He's young. He's super tall, way taller than Lewis. And the last time Lewis dealt with somebody who was taller than him, he got. I mean, to be fair, Volkov did get knocked out. He did knock out Volkov, and Volkov's pretty big. But Sergey Pavlovich is also pretty big, and he finished Derek Lewis fairly easily. I think Teixeira. I think Lewis's best chance here is to just get the knockout in the early minutes of round one. Maybe try a flying knee again, you know. But I got a feeling he will fail. And Carlson Teixeira is going to throw some counter strikes that are going to hurt Lewis badly. Sergey Pavlovich also has a very long reach, and he just used it to his advantage fully and just kept piecing up Lewis at range. I feel like Teixeira can do that easily too. And then once he's got Lewis up against the cage, the knees to the body will be there. I think Lewis is going to be in some nasty trouble. I think he's going to crumple. Tai Tuivasa managed to knock Lewis out, so I think Teixeira is way better prospect than Tai Tuivasa. He could get clipped. That's how he loses, but I don't think Lewis is going to find the knockout in round one. He can knock out Nascimento in round one, so that.
Barney, don't drink any beer while I'm gone, okay, Sweeney? What kind of pathetic drunk do you take me for? Oh, God. Oh, now I gotta take sobriety test. Oh, no. Oh, I'm red. Boys, take me away. I'm a drunk. I can't control myself. Fuck me, Lou. Throw me in this slammer.
All right, Pete. I like old, flabby Brazilian dudes. That's a shame. This guy, Carlson Teixeira, is not one of those. Yo, Tank, whatever happened to Volkov? He got screwed over by the UFC. Got lost a split decision that it should have been unanimous for him. UFC pledged that they would make it right with him, and they have not done so. Which is just vintage Dana in the UFC. Fucking classic, right? Let me see if he's even booked. Yeah, he doesn't have a fight book. Is that a good idea? He might also be dead in Ukraine. It would just be the case. You know what I mean? D. Lou making the big dollars again. Man's got a nice house. Yeah, it's just a shame that probably drove his car into it at some point. The guy fucking goes down the highway 100 miles an hour, man. It's insane. As long as he stays away from the freaking bottle, he should have a good life. But unfortunately, Lewis tends to partake in a little bit of chugging with the boys. So, gonna get him in trouble if he keeps on doing it. That being said, I have Carlson Teixeira by round one knockout. I think Lewis is gonna make it. Oh my God, Lewis hit him with a big shot. Whoa, Towson's on skates. Oh my God, he's got him. And then bam, oh God, Lewis got hurt. Oh, elbow, knee up the middle, right to the rib cage of Derek Lewis. Down he goes. And he'll do a fucking face plant and then get right back up, and the referee's gonna stop it. Mid Lewis face plant. Just vintage Lewis lost right there. Heavyweight Kevin Holland. Bro, Kevin will never invite you to smoke now. I wouldn't want to smoke with him anyway. He'd probably argue with me about what a 45-70 is.
You haven't even fired a gun, Hank. How do you even know what kind of ammunition you have to use? Do you even know what a 45-70 is, Hank? Oh, you don't? Yeah, shut the fuck up. Yeah, shut up. You don't know what it is. You don't know how to operate a gun like me.
And then still get fucking not destroyed by Rainier DeRitter. Or the Cal Zajac is just going to finish the job. MVP. Spinning back elbow. Hank versus Holland. 45-70 stream. Yeah, let's go. Yeah. Whoever can get the 45-70 ammo through the other person's skull, like into the brain and out through the back, wins. Yeah. We'll have a good old-fashioned duel like they did back in the 1800s. You know? pretty simple stuff. Yeah, that's it, man. That's how I see the fight going. Should be a great card. Lots of finishes. There we go. Yeah, that's Tank's breakdown, man. I'm sorry, I actually like Holland. I do too. I like Holland when he's in the cage. I like his performances in the cage. He's very entertaining. He sort of reminds me of Terrence McKinney a little bit, where it's just like, he either destroys you, smokes you in round one, or he gets smoked himself and just absolutely crushed and destroyed. It's going to be a fun fight either way, guaranteed. I know he had a sort of not that interesting fight with Jack Della Maddalena, but usually Kevin Holland brings it. He's a great journeyman. He gets the bag. He's a prize fighter, and that's always very entertaining. So, got to give it to Holland for making that bag, especially since he never spent any time in the top 5 of any division. He's made a name for himself, and I gotta give it to him. But I feel like he doesn't take his career seriously to the point that he, actually takes that next step and thinks it out. Like, he wanted to fight Colby, right? He wanted to take out, Colby Covington, and then now he's fighting, Daniel Rodriguez. Come on, dude, stick to your laurels. Bro lost the best. Is Mikhail Zaczek the best? Let's be real now. Well, actually, he didn't lose to Mikhail. He got dropped by Mikhail Zaczek. Who else? There was Rainier DeRitter submitted him, but he did finish Bo Nickel. To be fair to him, the GM3 cracked Bo Nickel, dude. GM3 managed almost him. Rainier DeRitter. So I don't know. I like Kevin Holland, but I just don't think he goes very far, and that's not a controversial statement. I don't think he even deep down wants to go very far. I think he just wants to make some money. I can't blame him for that. Roman Dolidze, ooh. Colby is ducking Holland. Yeah, what else is new, man? What's sad is that that's a fight that I think Colby could actually win if he tried. Or maybe he's just as washed as Luke Hay is. That's another potential outcome. We got TRTV Tour 2.0. Trina looking geared up with the move to heavyweight. Yeah, he'll definitely. I think he'll find the knockout. In fact, let me go to my Tapology page so I can just do a brief rundown of the fights again before I call it a day. Here we go. Oh yeah, I can't do one object at a time. Here, Let me. Instead. There we go. And... all right. Yeah, I think Klein is going to win the decision against Melissa Martinez. I think she's bigger, stronger. Only lost to Jazzy J, which is understandable. I think she's a very solid prospect, and she got a finish in her last fight. Actually, no, she didn't. But then she went to a decision with somebody, but she won that fairly handily too. Let me make sure I know what it is. No. Yeah, she knocked out Victoria Dudikova. So I think Klein's a prospect. I think she has a chance to finish Melissa Martinez, but I don't think she will. I think she'll win a decision. Mike Davis, I think he's going to make quick work of Mitch Ramirez. Mitch Ramirez is just a fan of the UFC to take a few bites out of, crush, and toss over to the side. and, and Mike Davis is make it look easy. We're gonna see a rare Mike Davis knockout on Mitch Ramirez. He's just that bad, and has just been dealt that bad a streak of luck that he's gonna get knocked out by Mike Davis. Kenny Nizuku against Walter Walker at heavyweight. Walter Walker's gonna try to get a heel hold on. Is that it? Yeah, heel hold on. Oh God, I'm gonna get. I need to make sure I'm right about this. Pretty sure it's called a heel hold. Heel hook on Kenny Nizuku. Who's just gonna get right back out. Start landing some combinations. Bing, bang, boom. Up against the cage, knee to the body, right hand, left hand, down to Walter Walker. I think it's going to be a quick round one knockout for Mr. Chuku. I don't think the clean monster. He's on the stock, but I don't think that's going to help against Kennedy. He's just too out of the shape, in my opinion. Then Lauren Murphy versus Eduardo Mora. Lauren Murphy, I can't believe she's still in the UFC. Got a title fight against Shevchenko for no reason. Lost to Andrade. We haven't seen her since. Mike Davis is more active than her. Eduardo Mora is not Ronda, nowhere near Ronda. Doesn't have the grappling and submission skills of Ronda. She doesn't have a submission in the UFC yet. But she will out-muscle Lauren just because she's younger and she's also weight bully. So. Give me Eduardo Mora by unanimous decision. Jake Matthews against Chidi Bang Bang Njokuani. Jake Matthews is at $2 stake. Chidi Njokuani has been looking fantastic at welterweight. Been finding finishes. He had terrible performance against Reese McKee though, but he's looking better and better with each fight at welterweight. Jake Matthews is going to try to take him down. Try to use some grappling. He's going to fail. Chidi was able to stuff every takedown with Jared Gooden. He should do the same with Jake. And then just beat him up with knees to the head and elbows and tall man syndrome. Pretty simple work. Audio cutting out. All right. Can I get an audio check? Yeah, I think Chidi Bang Bang's gonna not find the knockout, but land the big shots in this one. I think not better yet. What about now? What about now? Can you hear me? Hello? I got rid of it. I got rid of it. What about now? Better? Good. All right. So, yeah, I think that Chidi Njokuani is just too tall for Matthews to handle. I think Matthews is going to try to shoot some takedowns. He's going to fail. I think Chidi's way better on the feet and has a better, longer reach than Jake Matthews. And I think Matthews is too tough to get finished, but he'll get schooled. He'll get outclassed here. So I got Njokuani by decision. And Chris Curtis versus Max Griffin. I like Chris Curtis. I like his fights. Sort of like Kevin Holland. I don't like him as a person that much, but I like his fights because he's so whiny, you know. And then Max Griffin, he's just a complete scrub. He's fought nobody, won against nobody, and the only good fighters he loses against. And it's a layup to introduce Chris Curtis to the welterweight division. I think Curtis looked way better against Brendan Allen than we thought he would, and Brendan Allen's way better than Max Griffin. So give me Curtis to win maybe a close decision. He's so mid, it honestly could turn to a split decision, but I think Chris Curtis can, and he's going down a weight class, so he should look big. It's a background music for sure. Too loud. Well, I got rid of it. Much better. Yeah. Okay. Then we got Junior Tafa against Tuco Salamanca. Tuco Tacos. Honestly, you should cut Tuco if he loses the light heavyweight division. He's just there to get fed to new guys. Junior Tafa's not really a new guy. He was a prospect who got finished by Walter Walker, this guy who spits on the mic every time he talks. Speaking of which, but yeah, Junior Tafa, I think he's going to look lighter at light heavyweight. Yeah, I mean it's in the name, light heavyweight. You know, he's going to be a light heavyweight. He's going to be slimmed down. He's going to have less flab on him, more muscle. I think he's going to look faster. It's not going to look like that fight he had with Sean Sharif, where it's just bar fight. Whoa. I think he's going to look way more precise and accurate in his strikes to light heavyweight. Tuco Tacos just has no skill whatsoever in any aspect of the fight game, and I think he's going to get put out by a guy with more power. Tafa looks like Neptune's plumber. Missed his schedule and left him half sealed. Wow. Yeah, he's in the oven for too long. Definitely, just the souffle just had a growth spurt. You know. Oh yeah, it's reasonable. Oh yeah. So I think Tafa's going to get around one knockout. And then Vitor Petrino taking on Austin Lane. I don't think Austin Lane's even going to have a chance to out wrestle Vitor Petrino and get him on the mat and make it feel close. And oh my God, is Petrino going to lose? I think Austin Lane's chin is probably gone after getting cracked by. I said cracked because Sean Moody wrote it. Mario Pinto as well as Yonata Denise. I think the chin is gone. The chin has gone away. And I think Vitor Petrino, despite him always getting late round finishes, is going to look a lot more powerful at heavyweight. Maybe Austin Lane finds a submission like Anthony Smith did. Maybe he gets knocked down round 3 like he was against Dustin Jacoby. But I don't know. Austin Lane, he's too fragile to, I think, put up a real fight against Petrino. Petrino has wrestling of his own, so he's going to neutralize all the takedowns and knock him out. I'm thinking round 1. Smoke some crack, dude. Yeah. The chin is cracked. Hank, you seen Jones' last tweet? Probably more playing the victim, right? Even though he's the abuser and he's the villain, he's the monster every single time. Dude needs to he needs to get on one of Elon Musk's rocket ships. Yeah, he ain't the greatest of all time, motherfucker. Oh, new criminal charges. Nice. I like it. Johnny Meat. This guy's a fucking psycho, dude. Gay motherfucker. Instead of maybe use it to leave your mark on the world. Try inspiring somebody. Just a thought. Yeah, he should be fucking locked up. One second, guys. Anyway, 2 hours ago from Jones, Donald made an announcement on the morning of the 4th of July. I called the UFC headquarters that very same afternoon. I'll just leave it at that. America! Yeah, we're very pro-gay, Jones. We give gay people their rights in this country. You should be very happy about it. You can perform your little fucking lap dance for Trump in the privacy of his tower, dude. Stop fucking doing it on camera. Now that tickles my pickle. Like I said, we try to accept the queer here in America. Yeah, damn Hank dissing Jones for good reason. I'd do more than fucking diss him if I saw him in the street. This Muppet speaks. Yeah, it's true. Ladies and gentlemen, the Muppet Show with our very special guest, Elton John. UFC at the White House, terrible. Yeah, it's probably gonna be fucking thunderstorms and lightning strikes. They're gonna have it in like an outdoor venue, and then it's gonna be a fucking hurricane. What is this idiocracy? Yep. Literally, we have alligator Alcatraz in this country, Terrence. Alligator Alcatraz. When we're not sending them to death camps in El Salvador. So it's honestly worse than idiocracy. It's worse. It's just 1930s and 40s Germany. Yeah. Anyway, Petrino's going to find the round 1 knockout on Austin Lane. I don't think Lane's going to I don't think Petrino's even going to come back get a knockout. I think Lane's just that cooked. Then we got Morgan Charrier against Nate Landwehr. Nate the Train in the UFC. His mama ain't raised no bitch, baby. And I think Morgan Charrier's mom might have raised a bitch because that's how he looked against Nathaniel Wood. Just got completely out grappled, pressured, put on the mat on his ass, couldn't do anything on bottom. And Nate Landwehr has some wrestling in his back pocket, and I think he's going to put that on display against Morgan Charrier. He's going to get hurt early in classic Nate the Train fashion, and then just grab him, get the body locked down. Down goes Morgan Charrier, and then Nate's just going to beat him up on top and give the people of Nashville, Tennessee, a hell of a fight as only Nate the Train can do. I think Nate's going to do very well. It just seems like a nice bounce back fight for him. Charrier does have power. This is something to look out for. We'll see if Nate the Train's chin can withstand opposition in the first round. If he survives round 1, I think he's going to out-grapple and beat up Morgan Charrier for rounds 2 and 3. I know that Nate's training the hardest he's ever trained in his life for a fight in Nashville, Tennessee. So give me Landwehr by decision. Probably split. Rise to startups. Yeah. That's what I think. Rise to stardom, more like falling out, crashing out. Complete fallout from MMA YouTube. And MMA as a sport in general, too. Yeah. So Calvin Kattar against Steve Garcia. I think the Mean Machine, Steve Garcia, I think he's got the power. He's the man of the hour, the man with the power. Too sweet to be sour, the ladies' pet, and the men's regret. And I think he's going to show it against old Calvin Cater. Sup, Bodak Raid. Hey, Eucelius, nice to see you, man. Big props and thank you to Bodak for the raid. I thank him greatly for this. Bodak's a good dude. He's an honest, genuine. He's the genuine article, guys. Calvin Cater, he hasn't finished a guy since 2020, and yet he calls himself the Boston finisher for some reason. Steve Garcia actually finishes people, and he doesn't even have to be from Boston to do it either. And I think Cater's going to outstrike Steve, and then bam, overhand. Jesus Christ, there we go. That's a left. I'm sort of sounding like fucking Tito Ortiz during a photo shoot. Okay, throw the right hand. Throw the right hand, Tito. No, that's your left hand. Throw the right. No, nope. Didn't get it, Tito. Anyway, Calvin Cater. I think he's going to look good early on. Steve takes a little bit to rev up, and then he starts finding the chin. But there's just going to be a power difference here. Calvin Cater hasn't finished a guy in a while. Steve Garcia is tough as nails, and I think he's going to knock out Cater in round one. I think this might be Cater's last fight in the UFC. I like your Colby Covington impression. You're dead! You're next! Hey, Bodak! Your channel's a dump! All you filthy animals suck! All I gotta say is, Eucelius, whoa, Black Betty, Wambalam, whoa, Black Beatrice, Black bitch, you're next! You're next! Eucelius, you're more like useless. I'm the interim champion, baby. Why don't you have a title fight with me? I think he's scared. I think Eucelius, he's scared. Where you at, Eucelius? Useless Eucelius over here, man. I'm gonna take him down and pound him out. I'm coming on that ass like Aljamain Sterling said. You're next. Freaking Edward Scissorhands over here. Bodak's burnt pigeon raid.
What did you do to the pigeon? Did you put the pigeon in the microwave and fed it to 5 minutes? It's bad. You got to give the pigeon a tan out in the sun on top of the New York City rooftop oven.
Pause. I'm going to make him my wife. Pause. I don't think Cater has ever been knocked out. I don't think he has either, but at the same time, I don't think he's dealt with a lot of power punchers. He dealt with Jeremy Stevens and he knocked him out. But I feel like he isn't he in his, he's like 37, 38. He's getting up there in age. I know that Josh Emmett is a powerful striker and they went to a split decision, but I feel like Steve's just got the power, dude. I don't know how long Calvin Cater can avoid the offense of Steve Garcia, in my opinion. There's always going to be a first for everything, Will Black Betty. So for that reason, I think Garcia lands the round one knockout. Sad stuff. And then Stephen Wonderboy against Gabriel Bonfim. I think Wonderboy is going to look good against Gabriel Bonfim early on and then get taken down against his will. Pause. No Diddy. I think Wonderboy is just going to get pressured as the fight goes on. He's eventually going to get taken down the mat, scratching and clawing, and then Bonfim's just going to secure the Darce in round two. Unless Wonderboy lands a big head kick or something insane, you can quote me on that if it actually happens. Unless that happens, I think Bonfim's just going to take him down and choke him out fairly easily, in my opinion. So, yeah. Bonfim by round two submission. The only Bonfim in the UFC, guys. The only Bonfim, and there's nobody else. And then we got Derek Lewis against Tolson, the tall son, Teixeira. Derek Lewis beat a lot of guys outside the rankings when the UFC gives them to him, making that bag. But Tolson Teixeira is just a bad matchup for him, in my opinion. He's just way taller. Got a long reach. Sergey Pavlovich had a long reach, and he beat Lewis's ass. The only tall guy that Lewis has been able to knock out was Alexander Volkov, and he was on his way to losing that fight too. Lewis needs to just come out like a house of fire and land a flying knee and just, pour on the offense early, or else he's going to get put out early. I think Tallison Teixeira, he's going to hit him with the big knee up the middle, some elbows, counter shots that are going to wobble Lewis a little bit, and then once he's got Lewis up against the fence, I mean, it's over, guys. Tai Tuivasa put out Derek Lewis, so it's sad but true. If he can put out Derek Lewis, then Tallison Teixeira can too. He's an actual striker. He's got power. Your thoughts on Volkov all around? I think he's always been underrated, man. I think he beat Cyril Gahn. Gahn gave him the fight of his life. When he gave Gahn the fight of his life, got him down in round 3, hit him with some punches. That should have been enough to get Volkov the 3rd round. Instead, they just handed it to Cyril Gahn. Like, they hand him the win, even when he gets back the headshots on his opponents. They just give it to him. Oh, yeah, no, it's not no contest, no DQ, Oh, he won. I feel like Cyril Gahn's one of the most spoiled fighters in heavyweight history. He's got that Dana White privilege, seriously. Just because he's French. That's the reason. It's because he's French. And UFC loves their Paris cards. Yeah, I don't know. I think Cyril Gahn's going to get knocked out by Tom Aspinall fairly quickly. I think Volkov should have beat him. Should have been given the decision against Gahn. He's privileged, so he lost. Love the freaking Volkov meme of him just just combing the hair, making sure his hair was super good while he was fighting Sergey Pavlovich. He doesn't have too much power, I will say. A lot of his finishing ability comes through his grappling and his submission work. Yeah, I think he's good everywhere. He's got the physical advantages to help him go a long way too. I think Volkov should be getting a rematch with Tom right now, but instead they stole his win from him, and now he's just, we don't know where he is. He doesn't have a fight booked. So, yeah, sad stuff. And that's it for the card. I got some other predictions. What's one that's worth talking about? Fuck one, by the way. One is dead. One is fully dead. PFL Europe was pretty good. It's Cage Warriors. Berlanga versus Shiraz. I mean, I could put in some boxing picks right now while we wait. I got some people from a raid here, so might as well. Who do you think wins, Shamil Gaziev or Derek Lewis? I think Derek Lewis wins. I think if Lewis played his cards right and had the same game plan that Jairzinho Rosenstruik did, where it's just like kicks to the leg and then, left hand, right hand every once in a while, punches to the body, I feel like he'd wear Gaziev out. And Lord knows that he's had fights that have gone the distance, like against Ngannou. So I think Derek's good enough that he can stuff Shamil Gaziev's takedowns. I think he can wear him out. If he plays the long game with Gaziev, with Gassiev, then I think he could knock him out. Personally, the Yundro, yes sir. All right, let me share this. I don't know. Gaziev is a bit too skilled for him. Gaziev has wrestling like Khabib, striking like Pereira. Oh, yeah, of course he does. He also has a stomach of a fucking camel. What's that creature that has 2 stomachs? He's got the digestive system of a cow. He's got multiple stomachs. So Yeah, that's definitely his biggest strength. Stomach like Movzar. Hey, I don't see any injection spots or brown spots on him. Cow has 2 stomachs. There you go. And Shamil did breatheth heavy upon the 2nd minute, and the Lord saith, Who summoned this wheezing bear to my temple? And he was cast down with strikes, for his lungs were but 2 deflated wineskins. And that's why he's the GOAT. And that's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT! Cheddarhead. Yes. Cheddarhead does have 2 stomachs. I think he has 3, honestly. I think when he's done at the Packers game, he just takes the cheese head off and just he just eats it, But yeah, let's have some fun here. Let's have some fun. Bro, there's no way we're counting the Rosenstrike loss in 2025. It's obvious Shamil was just hungry and chose to spare Rosenstrike. I mean, he was sucking up air. He was swallowing air, that's for sure. Oh boy. 0-1. 0-0. 96% for Sasumi. He's absolute dog shit though, but I will pick him by decision. Oh, Muhammad Alakal. They got all the freaking terrible prospects. Terrible promotion. Queensberry, fought for Queensberry. Yeah, I'll probably give it to Muhammad Alakal. Retired from cardiac arrest. They should have that as a method of victory on Tapology. And then David Morrell against Katiev. Let me take a look at these guys' records. Just haven't gotten around to this, but I feel like maybe it's a good moment now. How about it? How about it, Bodak? Why don't I play some soccer, man? I want to play some soccer. God damn it. Or football. Sorry. My mistake. I'm too American for this world. Now 11-1 for Morel. All right. Here we go. Katiev. Who's this guy Palacios that he beat? 14-4, not good. And then who's this guy Menendez? 12-1. Okay, that's not bad. It's not too bad. It's sort of a nobody. Meanwhile, David Morrell only lost to Benavidez. Beat everybody else. Yeah, I think this Morrell guy is going to get a pretty unanimous decision here against the Russian. Should school him. Parked him outside and said no U-turns. Wait. Parked him outside. How about that? He doesn't take any U-turns at the local Cluckenbell, that's for sure. I remember Shamil Ghaziev's order when I was getting some fast food with them. I'll have 2 number 9s, a number 9 large, brother, a number 6 with extra deep ja da, 2 number 45s, 1 with brains, and a large soda, and a large vodka that I can have with my borscht. Damn, man, you fat as hell. See, Shamil's an innovator. First guy to die of cardiac arrest in the octagon. Yeah, he's a revolutionary. He's changing the game. People forget, man. Shamil the Goat Gaziev. Better than Parker Porter. Can you believe that? Imagine being Shamil's heart. Boom, 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 boom. I feel like if Mum Ra from oh god, I forget what his name is from freaking Indiana Jones, but when he pulls out the heart, you know, Kaliba! I feel like the heart would just explode in his hands, or they just get a bunch of grease on his hands. He's like, oh, you know, he's got heart, a lot of it, and I don't mean that in a spiritual sense. I mean, physically, his heart is ginormous. You should probably see a doctor. But Alberto Puello taking on Subriel Matias. Who the fuck are these guys? Who the fuck is that? Dum 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 dum. Let me check out this Matias guy. All right. Cuban, that definitely helps. No, Puerto Rico. Gabriel Valenzuela, 31-4. He's had a few losses. Roberto Ramirez, who was 26-4. Again, suffered losses. Liam Paro, 26-1. All right, yeah. And meanwhile, is he taking on an undefeated guy? Let me check this. Let's look at old Puello, Pico de Gallo. Ooh, Dominican Republic, that's tough. Sandor Martin, has that guy lost before? 42-4. He has lost. Went to a split decision. 18-1. Okay, that's pretty good. American though, so soy boy. 11-1. Undefeated guys though. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with the simple decision and say it just goes Puello's way. You know. Hey, oh, the odds have it for Matias. Hey, why not? Hey, why not? I'll just go with Matias. Why not? That sounds fun. Liam Parra was great until that last loss. Wouldn't fight Thurman. Man, what a bitch. Damn, freaking incredible knowledge from Leandro. He knows all about that boxing shit. You gotta be a hardcore in every aspect of combat sports. Speaking of, you know, what's the word for it? Distinguishing something as hardcore and not hardcore. We have a true softie in Shakur Stevenson. He did beat Josh Padley. He probably fought like Stevenson was punching pads because he just whooped him, absolutely whooped him. Everybody else he just ran away from, ran in circles, and had horrible fights against. And William Zepeda, 10 Farmer. Oh God, split decisions. Yeah, Stevenson's gonna beat the shit out of him. He's gonna win a fairly unanimous decision because Zepeda's never been finished. I think it's just gonna go to a decision, and Stevenson is, he's a name, so the sport will rig it in his favor. That's what I'm predicting. Zepeda's average strikes per round is 96.5. Shakur is 40. All you need to know. Hopefully Zepeda whips the boy's ass. I hope so too, dude. I think I don't think he's a fraud, Shakur Stevenson, but I think he's definitely not good for the sport of boxing. Remember when you used to call Clown a pedo? And he's not. He isn't a pedo, but he does let them on the stream. He lets anybody on his stream, and then he just keeps them around, basically. I was just there because Vinny was schooling a few guys. And I decided I'd get involved. Who wins a boxing match, Brandon Moreno or Thomas Peterson? Also, Giuliano's involved, so I don't know. I was just hanging with the boys, to be honest. Um, wins a boxing match. Honestly, probably Thomas the Train, dude. I don't care how small you are if it's just boxing. Brandon Moreno's like half of his game is in the wrestling. And I know you're probably no chill, by the way, only human. If not, you're just a hater. No, I don't care. It doesn't matter how hard he hits. I think Thomas Peterson is just going to have power and reach, and hard to deal with that. So, yeah, if I want for Berlanga, that pressure conference would have been boring as hell. Ooh, all right. You got drew some eyes to the sport. That's pretty good. Wasn't for Berlanga. Nice. Hankin with the boys. Hankin with the boys. Gotta make some noise with the boys. And finally, we got the chosen one, Berlanga, against Hamza Shiraz. Split decision against Adams. They got Shiraz 60, Berlanga 40. Shiraz looked horrible in that last fight. He really did. Honestly, Shiraz has almost gotten exposed in every one of his fights. This guy beats Ortiz, lose to Canelo. Yeah, I'll go with Berlanga. I'll go with the guy who brought eyes to the press conference just because it's probably good for the sport. Also, every single fighter that boxer that Turkey Al Sheikh likes ends up losing. So, yeah, I think that's probably the end of the line for old Shiraz. There you go. But I think you can multiply the lighter man skill by 64, Nintendo 64. So maybe Moreno will give him the Sweet Pea special. Yeah, he's going to give him the OnlyFans special. Hey guys, Brandon Moreno, welcome to my OnlyFans. Let's get naked. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Sweet Pea special. Yeah, I mean, his punches are going to be as effective as a spoonful of peas and carrots. He's going to eat that shit for breakfast, like like his second breakfast, you know. Well, let me put up my gimmick again. There we go. Boop. All right. There we go. Would you be interested in joining my Tapology group? What's it called? Magnusis MMA. Welcome to the channel, by the way. I think you're new here, so it's nice to see you. I'm gonna bring in the music again because I enjoy it. Daddy. Are you doing a Colby Covington impression right now? Actually, no. Fuck the music. Hold on. No, fuck the music. Daddy, you sounding like Colby Covington whenever he sets foot on Mar-a-Lago and he's playing golf with his sugar daddy. Daddy, I bought the book. I bought The Art of the Deal. Daddy Trump, Little Colby. That's what we call him. Little easy bets. Can you believe that? Great golf swing, but I think my golf swing's just a little bit better than him. You are my daddy. Somehow I doubt it. Unless I'm making you some money through my live breakdowns and I'm your sugar daddy. I don't think I'm your daddy. You're gonna have to check your records, dude. I don't. You're gonna have to get me on an episode of Maury, dude, because I don't think I'm your daddy. Bro just has people coming in here calling him daddy. Usually it's just one guy and he plays a bunch of wacky ass characters and says a bunch of bullshit, It's all a distraction. But Magnus is. What's the name of the Tapology group? I know you're getting distracted by by Colby Covington right now, but what is it? What the hell is it? Anyway. Back to the music. Oh shit. Naomi Laurent. Welcome to the Hang Tank Army. How's it going? Let me try to translate your comment. Give me 1 second. No. Fucking Connor, dude. Fight someone, Mike Perry. No. I want to translate what you put. Can't stay long. I'm probably going to head out in 2 minutes, guys. So if there's anything you'd like to get off your chest at the very end of this thing, let me know. Hey, I stumbled upon your channel, and oh my god, it's actually so chill. Oh, awesome. Nice to meet you, Naomi. Welcome to Hank's Warzone. I will now officially draft you as a trooper and a grinder in the Hank Tank Army. So welcome aboard. Welcome to the cavalry. I'm off to watch some Thriller. Boris Karloff, Night Hank. Sounds good. Sounds good. Catch you later. Clancy got Japanese COVID, particularly. I fell for something. I don't know how to translate the rest. She stumbled onto my channel and she thinks it's cool. So hey, I appreciate it. Nice to have you on board, Naomi. Yeah, but I've been streaming for about an hour and 57 minutes. So. Final voids. Drop gentil. This is interesting. I don't know if this is a bot or what. Oh my god, I met Teixeira. Oh wow. Saint Tropez avec son frère. And he was surprisingly down to earth. Nice. He seemed, he's a young kid. And a lot of these fighters, they, look and act like brutes sometimes and sound like killers, but deep down, a lot of them are just making money for their families and are working people. So it's not surprising that Taliesin Teixeira is down to earth, Naomi. What picks you doing now? I finished up Sean Moody. If you want, you can check my Tapology page. I got them all listed. Tapology group is called Futa. Okay. I feel like I've seen Naomi before. The fuck? Interesting. I met Teixeira with my brother. He was very kind. Nice. Sounds like a nice guy, according to 2 accounts. So, hey, not bad. I like Naomi's spirit. She seems very very positive and optimistic and kind, and that's something that is greatly missing from the online MMA world sometimes. So good for her. I appreciate it. But yeah, I predict a lot of first-round knockouts, a lot of fucking wars. That's what she said. I haven't met Teixeira. Oh, okay. I got Google Translate. Magnusus. I got Google Translate. You're only saying that because she's the French hus? No, it's because I like having positive people in the chat. Met Sharon St. Tropez with his brother. He was so nice, like surprisingly down to earth. Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Maybe 5 more minutes, and then I'm probably gonna head out. Anything else? Anything else you'd like to say before I sign off? I want to read her shirt in Braille. Yeah, just gotta, make sure that everything's going from left to right. Oh, yeah, I see. Oh, now I see what you're saying. Have a good one, man. Thank you, Magnus. Thank you. Well, welcome to the channel, by the way. It's good to have you around. I hope I see you regularly. You're fun to chat with, and I'll try to join your Tapology too. Yeah, everybody's saying take care, so I'm gonna head out. Let me hold on. Let me pull it up. Let me pull up the lyrics to what I'm gonna. Oh, no, 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 no. No. All right, hold on. I gotta read this. I might not. I don't watch streams usually, but I hope they all go good. Thank you. Bon voyage, Hank. Thank you. Let me turn off this music. All right, here we go. I have been Hank the Tank. You have been the Troopers and Grinders, and of course, you have escaped the war zone. For now. Nady train, Nady train, we love you. Oh, you pretty Nady train, Nady train, we love you. And in Nady train, what we'll do near, far, in our Nate the train. Oh, what a happy time we'll spend. Nate, bang, Nady train, our fine four-fendered friend. Nate, training, Nate, our fine four-fendered friend. Nate the Train in the UFC, baby. I'm going to run over Morgan Charrier like he's XXX Tentacion standing in front of a moving train at Clarksville.